Welcome back, everybody, to the Maitland April Local here in Maitland, Florida. I am Joe Carlino once again. I'm joined by Landon Story. Landon, after round number one, that was an incredible three-set match, wasn't it?
I mean, yeah, it was pretty good. Like, I always love seeing a round one go with game three immediately because that just shows you that the local is going to be a good day.
And
it's just a good omen for me, honestly, watching.
And selfishly, it proves why Florida has the best local scene.
Oh, of course. Of course.
Yeah. None of that New York stuff.
No,
none
no,
of that
no,
New
no,
Jersey
no, no.
stuff.
It's
Nah,
just-
Florida's got
Florida's
the
where
best.
it's at.
Florida's where it's at. And we just had one of the largest regionals last weekend,
is
the
true.
Orlando Regional.
It's either the second or third biggest regional of all time.
I think it's the third biggest regional because Orlando last year was the biggest regional. Then
Notice
it became
that-
Charlotte, and then I think Orlando.
I just want to say something. I noticed that two of the top threes are Orlando. Orlando's the best.
Yeah,
Uh,
right. I mean, hey, if two of them are going to be the best, now how'd you do at Orlando over that weekend? Yeah, I kind of want to talk about either.
I was running a hyper offense team. I am usually a balanced player. I was doing something out of my comfort zone. I had just too much busy outside of Pokemon in my life, and I was like, I'm just gonna run something simple. I'm not gonna run balance this time.
Honestly, I'm more of a speed control guy. Like I can play around Trick Room. I don't really try to use weather all that much, but if I do try to use weather, it's like a little iffy. But I'm better at Weather Ring the Storm. I went 4 and 5 at Orlando.
Same.
Could have gone 5 and 4, but some unfortunate paralysis luck in round number 9.
That always happens.
It's one of the worst. And then Kel Surprise, Wolf Glick wins Orlando again.
Wow. I mean,
Breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. We have broken
Whoa,
news.
who
Wolf Glick wins Orlando.
pretty similar to his Charlotte team. Not at all similar to his Orlando team last year because he did say
no Paris trap.
he did say in not an interview, one of his videos recently, he was like, last year I was trying to make a different, like, unique team every single time, and you could see that he run like a Assault Vest Saralich at one point and like did pretty good with that. But this year, both times he's had like a Rillaboom, Ogerpon, Ensign, and Urshifu. No, he didn't have a Rillaboom. He had a Mogus.
And keep in mind that a couple months ago, when Regulation F was just about to start, when we heard about these partner ribbons that were going to be on the trainers that you can trade with at the Blueberry Academy, they were going to say you can get Wolf's Incineroar, and Wolf replied to that. He was like, Wolf's what? and now we might have Wolf's Incineroar. But guys, we're getting ready for our round number 2 matchup here. We are going to have Christopher Valles go up against Joven Teixeira. This is going to be a fun matchup here, Landon.
I mean, yeah, looking at our teams, we're not running anything as crazy as last match was,
Yeah, no Palma,
no Scream Tail. But I do want to point out, we do have a Metagross.
Did you just say Metagross?
I did say Metagross.
Oh my God, let's go. There's a Metagross.
Joe's a big Metagross fan, so
it is what got me into loving Steel type Pokemon.
Yep.
I have loved Steel types ever since Steven Stone with Metagross.
Yep. I mean, like, Steven's probably one of the coolest champions, and looks like we're having some difficulties going on with certain things right now, so we're a bit delayed in the match in terms of things. But if we could just take a look at first Christopher's team. We got Flutterman, it's got like Booster Energy, it's got Moonblast, Icy Wind, Taunt.
Ooh, a Taunt? Fluttermane. That's a sort of a standard Fluttermane set, with especially Moonblast. I mean, Moonblast is one of the best moves on its repertoire. I mean, Shadow Ball actually doesn't really see as much
I'd
usage.
argue that Moonblast is probably Fluttermane's best move.
You think Shadow Ball is its best move?
Moonblast. Sorry.
I
meant Moonblast. I would argue that Moonblast is its best move.
I was about to say, because Shadow Ball, it's good, but it doesn't really feel all that great around it. But if we're going to look at the rest of Chris's team, we just mentioned the Fluttermane. We've got a single strike Urshifu that he's running this week with black glasses. He's not even running Focus Sash.
All right, now we see the teams up here. And so Incineroar has the safety goggles, Flare Blitz, Helping Hand. Ooh.
Wait a second. They gave Incineroar helping hand?
Yeah, they give Incineroar everything. Don't you know that Pokemon does that?
They just keep finding more ways to break this Pokemon.
Yeah, they just find more ways to make it even better. Like, hey, oh, Incineroar doesn't have this support move. Oh, oh, shoot, we have to give it to it. Oh, it doesn't have this good stat. Oh no, we have to give it to Incineroar. Oh no.
But then we look on the side of Joven's team. He's got the Chen Pao. He's got the Choice Scarf, Urshifu, Rapid Strike.
Yep.
They both, I mean, we did see another matchup with both sides having Ogerpon, Wellspring. We do see a Choice Specs Flutter Mane on Joven's side alongside that Assault Vest Raging Bolt. It's one of the best Pokemon in the game right now, with the Assault Vest being able to sponge attacks. And with that Terra Fairy, you essentially nullify any Raging Bolt next to you.
I mean, yeah, it's just an all-around good Pokemon. Raging Bolt has been a staple for most of, if not all of, Regulation F. It's just a good Pokemon. You've seen it.
It's a good giraffe.
It's a pretty good giraffe.
It's a pretty good giraffe.
I'd say the two giraffes we have in the format are pretty good, being Fergiraffe and
Raging Bolt.
Raging Bolt, you
and,
know.
And I remember people at the beginning of this regulation, they weren't sure if Raging Bolt was even going to be worthwhile. And
everyone was just like, oh, it's going to be good against. It's like a nice Urshifu counter. It's like a nice Urshifu counter. That's probably all it has going. Nope. It's a good Pokemon. We've seen several different sets. You've seen Thunderclap, Thunderbolt, Draco Meteor set for a while with the safety goggles. Then we see that Assault Vest. Sometimes we see the Assault Vest with the Electro Web and Snarl. Does this one have Electro Web and Snarl? I don't.
It has just Snarl, but no Electro Web.
Yep. And then, on that Japan balance team, we saw the Calm Mind set that's, we all know and love.
This is true, and we did see Brady Smith pilot that
We
Calm
did.
Mind
Brady
Raging
Smith,
Bolt.
one of our local Florida players, and he's followed that Raging Bolt to a really solid second place at Vancouver. But now
we're getting into game number 1 here, ladies and gentlemen. Joven Teixeira, Christopher Baez. This is going to be a really good start. Let's see who they decide to lead with. We see Joven leads the Incineroar and the Flutter Mane, and Chris leads Flutter Mane.
Metagross, let's go!
And Metagross has made an appearance on the field.
Let's go, Metagross. No lowered stat thanks to the clear body. Oh, dude, that Metagross might just have a free KO with a bullet punch onto that Flutter Mane.
Especially with the fact that it does have that it's a Choice Specs variant, so you could essentially click that bullet punch here. However, Joven does have an Urshifu Rapid Strike. He does have an Ogerpon. He has counters around.
I do want to point out that Christopher's Flutter Mane is actually Terra Grass. That's a pretty fun unique that we got going on right now.
You're definitely right there. I mean, it remains to be seen what is going to happen here in the early meta because, I mean, with the Metagross on the field and that Assault Vest, it probably will live a Choice Spec Shadow Ball potentially.
Oh, we see the Metagross switching out. No, not the Metagross. No.
Into the Urshifu, potentially seeing a Fake Out come out into that slot.
Yep. So,
and Flutter Mane on Christopher's side is faster.
If a Dazzling Gleam or a move, special attack drop. That's pretty solid.
But an Icy Wind.
Oh, the call is so good.
That was a great play by Joven, but now he's locked into that Icy Wind. And Flutter Mane is now -1 speed. Now with the booster energy, it's essentially a neutral Flutter Mane. It all depends on which Flutter Mane is faster now.
It's really just in a solid spot, I'd say. I mean, if I'm Christopher, I'm not really too worried about how this is going. Just me personally.
We do see Icy Wind come out on Joven's side, which means that his Flutter Mane is the faster Flutter Mane, or it could have been a speed tie.
True, it could have been a speed tie.
You see the Moonblast
coming in onto that Incineroar, not doing too much damage.
But another special attack drop.
Not really going to help too much on this Incineroar. That Flare Blitz,
not
even going to be enough, even with the chip. So that Incineroar, Wicked Blow.
Into the Flutter Mane, and Flutter Mane goes down.
That's a great turn for Christopher. Christopher just has such a solid balance going into this right now. He's just honestly just doing good at the start of this. He's just at a nice, comfortable lead. Not like commanding, but very comfortable, I would say.
However, it's important to note that Joven's 2 Icy Winds have put this Urshifu and Flutter Mane at -2 speed.
That is important to note.
So it remains to be seen what is going to happen here because Raging Bolt could come out. It could just click a move and it'll do major damage.
I mean, a -2 speed on that Urshifu. This Raging Bolt is probably faster than the Urshifu at the very least. So it can, you know, do a solid Thunderbolt because this one just has Thunderbolt. It doesn't need to use Thunderclap for that you know, for that damage. I mean, it has that option, but it doesn't need it in this case.
As you do see a switch out here on the Urshifu side, and Incineroar is making an appearance on the side of Christopher Baez. We have 2 Incineroars on the field.
Oh, isn't that just everyone's dream?
all we're missing are 2 Dittos to get around that.
Oh, great. No, fantastic. Or just, you know, a multi-battle with an Incineroar from each side.
And Joven goes for the Thunderclap, but it does fail as Incineroar going for the Flare Blitz into the Incineroar slot, and it bounces off the Incineroar. It's essentially like an Irish whip off the ring ropes, and Incineroar just no-sells that attack.
Yeah, it's just not going to do much, you know, in this case. And so now Christopher has fake out pressure to put off here, and honestly, I see just an easy fake out into that Raging Bolt, and then just take your pick at who you move last. Personally,
I think you're right there. However, the other decision that you can make here, as we do see a fake out go into the Raging Bolt, and Raging Bolt flinch, which meant it was going for Thunderclap. As Moonblast comes out into the Incineroar,
not going to take it out.
Doesn't do enough, but the Flare Blitz into the Flutter Mane will take it out, and that critical hit.
Crit mattered.
I think the crit mattered.
Oh, crits totally mattered.
So Incineroar, well, the recoil does not take Incineroar out,
take it out. Didn't do enough damage for that recoil to take it out.
However, we do see Urshifu in Metagross are potentially in the back. Now, Metagross will not have the Intimidate drops, but this Metagross is carrying Stomping Tantrum, which is super effective on that Raging Bolt.
Yeah, I mean, Metagross is just in a solid position in general. It's an all-around solid Pokemon. I like Metagross. You like Metagross. We all like Metagross.
I think people like Metagross.
I agree there.
As we do see the Metagross is on the field here, what is going to be the call on Joven's side? Will he try to go for another Thunderclap, maybe?
I just realized that this Metagross's title is the Pokemon Fan. Do you know that that's only for event Pokemon? So this might be the event Steven Metagross.
Ooh, I didn't even notice that. That is a good call, then. That's a good...
That's interesting to me.
As you see Rapid Strike, Urshifu come out.
Bullet Punch, not going to do much at all.
Incineroar is going after Raging Bolt. That's good information here as a parting shot comes out into the Raging Bolt.
That's good for Christopher to have, because the parting shot's not really going to help too much onto the Urshifu because of those Surging Strikes.
Exactly, and with the Choice Scarf, it can just click those Surging Strikes and go absolutely nuts.
Go crazy.
We do see the Urshifu Single Strike is back on the field for Chris, and it honestly remains to be seen what's going to happen here because Joven still hasn't activated his Terra. Both sites haven't activated their Terra Orb yet.
Yeah, it's like they both got options. Like the Rapid Strike Urshifu has the option for a Terra Steel. The Raging Bolt has the option for a Terra Fairy. They both have defensive typings going on right now. While Christopher, on the other hand, I believe he has both. No, he doesn't have both offensive typing, but he does have the Fairy for defensive on Metagross.
We do see Incineroar come onto the field.
And are we getting
Joven.
a Terra this turn?
You do see the Clear Body activate to prevent the Intimidate, but Urshifu will lose attack power for it. And Joven goes with his Terra Orb. He is activating it on Urshifu, and Urshifu must have been going to the same party as Landorus in round 1 because it has the axe in its head, indicating that Terra Steel.
Yeah, they're both going to those April Halloween parties.
But we do see Chris activate his Terra Orb as well, and Urshifu has terastallized into a very evil Pokemon with that Dark Terra type.
With that Dark Terra, and so, gosh, if this goes for a Sucker Punch, it could do a solid amount.
But you see the Sucker Punch come out into the Urshifu. How much is this going to do? Not a lot of damage.
Not a lot of damage.
But it goes for the Surging Strikes.
That's not doing much at all to that Metagross.
Wow, what a bulky Metagross there. And we see the 3 critical hits come out. And Metagross goes for Psychic Fangs, and it's not enough.
But Sucker Punch could pick that up on. I think the Sucker Punch could pick that up in the end.
I think you're right, but however, that Incineroar just came out on the field. It can go for a fake out potentially.
That's true. That is very true.
So now
going
Christopher
into
is
this
trying to
next
call which fake out slot it's going to go into.
turn. Yeah, this could be a problem for Christopher right now. But honestly, it's just such an even game right now. They're both like even Christopher has such low HP Pokemon, but so does Joven. It's like.
As you see the fake out come out into the Metagross, and it doesn't do any damage at all. But this
And the
Sucker Punch,
that's probably going to take that knockout onto that Urshifu. Yep.
it is enough, and Urshifu goes down. So now Christopher has knocked out the Urshifu in the Battle of Urshifus. That terastallized the Single Strike, beat the Rapid Strike.
I mean, you don't normally see that. Usually the Rapid Strike is outclassing the Single Strike.
And we see Raging Bolt come out here now. Because Raging Bolt does have Thunderclap, Metagross could potentially go for something like a Bullet Punch into that Incineroar.
Yep.
But however, Christopher realizing that there is the potential of a Thunderclap, he is switching out and into Incineroar to lower the power of Incineroar's moves on Joven's side.
And, there's no more switching potential for Joven, so there's no more fake outs, there's no more Intimidates being cycled through. So honestly, ooh, Thunderbolt onto that Incineroar.
That is good damage, and the paralysis.
Dang, that could be very important when it comes to the fake outs.
But we do see the Flare Blitz come out into the side of Christopher's Urshifu, which was detecting, and Incineroar potentially going for that special move. But it can't because it's paralyzed.
Paralyzed, no.
Oh no!
That's
and
so
the Wicked Blow. This is Terra Dart. Now remember, ladies and gentlemen, the Wicked
Terra
Blow.
and Black Glasses Wicked Blow is not affected by the Intimidate because of the crit.
Oh my
Not
God.
enough to take the KO though.
And Urshifu goes down. That paralysis is big.
Brutal. That's mattered so much to the game.
So now it remains to be seen. The Incineroar goes for Flare Blitz. How much is this going to do to Chris's Incineroar? Not a lot of damage. That brings it to 62.
Did that still not get the recoil knockout?
It didn't.
That's insane.
It did not. But now here's the $1 million question. What is Joven going to do? Because Incineroar is low. All these Pokemon are low. So it remains to be seen, like, if Joven goes for something like a Thunderclap into the Incineroar, I think he might get the KO.
That very well might be true. Thunderclap into the Metagross.
And wow, Joven's Raging Bolt is faster than that Metagross.
That is important to note.
We do see
And
the knockoff
coming out.
43 HP on Incineroar, knocking off those safety goggles.
How much
Incineroar going for the Flare Blitz.
This matters to the game. He takes it out.
Raging Bolt is down. It'll come down to those paralysis turns.
This comes down to paralysis and recoil damage.
Well, I mean, the thing though is that Joven's Incineroar does have knockoff.
It does have knockoff. It can just
20. And it's not enough. It's not enough.
What?
Christopher Baez.
That was game one.
That was game one. Are you kidding me?
There could potentially be 3 games, and that was game one. Like,
what a finish. Incineroar gets paralyzed. It took a pile driver from the Raging Bolt, much like Stone Cold Steve Austin did. Took a pile driver, paralyzed in the middle of the match, and still managed to win.
It's ridiculous.
What
I have
a
to say.
crazy game one. Man, if it's just like that, I hope we get a game 3 again. 2 straight stream matches of game 3s.
That would be insane. Oh my gosh, like, these players are bringing their all, and who would think that the Incineroar mirror would be the game ender, like, with the paralysis too? Like, oh my gosh, like, if that helping hand got off, that would have been a sealed game immediately.
Without question, it would have sealed the game up. But that's also because, again, we've never seen helping hand on Incineroar before. But the fact that Wicked Blow with a Terra Dark, now Wicked Blow guarantees a critical hit, so those Intimidate drops mean absolutely nothing to Urshifu if it clicks Wicked Blow. So Wicked Blow, the Terra Dark, so it's getting extra power, and it still couldn't knock out Raging Bolt.
I mean, gosh, what game one?
I know. But I think the reason why is because, but even then, Now, as we know for casting purposes, ladies and gentlemen, we get to see the stats of our competitors' Pokemon here. Knowing Urshifu's Single Strike, a max attack Adamant Terra Dark might have done enough. Because Urshifu Single Strike at max attack Adamant hits 394 at level 100. I
insane.
think that Terra Dark might have done enough if that was max attack.
Yeah, that's insane. Oh my gosh. Wow.
So I honestly don't know what to expect with that, guys, but just the fact that something like this happened in game number 1, the Incineroar Mirror goes in the favor of Christopher Baez while he is paralyzed and loses a turn.
It's like that turn loss is very crucial to this. That's just unfortunate, but you know he still ended that with a win. And let's see if he can do it again and make it a quick 2-0, or if Joven can take it to a game 3.
As we see Joven lead up with Ogerpon and Fluttermane doing a little bit of a switch up here, and another switch up on the side of Christopher Baez. The Tornadus makes an appearance.
The Tornadus does make an appearance, and that could do some wonders for Christopher in this game. So, like, his Tailwind, I mean, hey.
Tailwind is a potential move here, ladies and gentlemen. But we also have to remember this Tornadus on Chris's side is Rocky Helmet variant. So it will take a speed drop and therefore would then be slower than that Ogerpon.
That is true. So, wow, this is just... We're already starting with mind games of if they're doing Bleak Windstorm or a Tailwind, because honestly, Bleak Windstorm could be even helpful to take out that Orb. No Terra going on, though. No
we do
Terra.
See a Protect come out on the side of Earth.
Icy Wind.
Icy Wind does come out, and will it hit? I mean, it's 95% accuracy, but it does hit the Tornadus here. Big damage in the Tornadus and getting that all-important speed drop. What did Ogerpon go for? It went for Ivy Cudgel into the Urshifu, and it's protected. Ooh. So now it comes down to this Bleak Windstorm, an 80% accurate move. It hits both. Ogerpon takes just over 50% health, which means it, but it gets the speed drop.
So crucial going into that next turn. It's
my God, that speed drop is massive.
That speed drop is definitely very important going into this next turn. I mean, honestly, the speed drop onto Fluttermane might have been preferred, but regardless, it was still a very good turn for Christopher.
I agree, because now Ogerpon could potentially go for something like a Follow Me here, potentially trying to bait a Sucker Punch out on that Fluttermane, because Fluttermane on Joven's side is Choice Specs variant. So therefore, Sucker Punch can just do massive damage.
Nope, that Fluttermane is switching out into what is the question?
It is Raging Bolt.
Now, we've seen this Raging Bolt like do wonders for Joven last game. But let's see how it does this one.
You see the Tailwind come out, a Wicked Blow comes out, and Ogerpon goes down.
Christopher just having, again, just a nice, comfortable lead going into it. But Joven last game was able to almost completely turn it around. So I'm still wary to say there's a lead going on.
We see Urshifu Rapid Strike come out onto the field for Joven. And now the question remains, because Joven and Christopher, once again, they have not terastallized their Pokemon in this battle. However, Urshifu is Choice Scarf, and with the Choice Scarf, I think he might just be undersped by that Tornadus, but the Raging Bolt on the field has Thunderclap, so Joven can just go for a Thunderclap here and maybe take out this Tornadus in one shot.
That is true.
And we
Who are we seeing a terastallization from?
It is on Joven's side. Raging Bolt.
Oh, getting that Terra Fairy going to resist
every move on the Urshifu Single Strike
Every
here.
single move on the Single Strike, which is crazy to think about.
We see the Wicked Blow come out.
Not doing much.
However, it remains to be seen, because now Raging Bolt is neutral to the Tornadus' Bleak Wind Storms here. We do see the Surging Strikes come out on the side of Joven's Urshifu, and it goes into Single Strike Urshifu. We see the Bleak Wind Storm come out. What did it miss? It missed the Urshifu.
Oh, that is crucial.
And it was a critical hit through the Assault Vest on the Raging Bolt, and gets a speed drop. A critical hit and the speed drop.
The Thunderbolt going into that Tornadus, taking it out. So now Now Christopher's finally getting to reveal what his back Pokemon are. And so we see that Ogerpon coming in, and honestly, it can just Horn Leech that Urshifu very comfortably.
Actually, it's got a different type of grass move. It's got Wood Hammer.
Oh, it does.
It's got the hammer. It's going to lay the boom.
It's got the bonk going on.
But we do see a switch out on the side of Joven. He is switching out his Rapid Strike Urshifu, potentially baiting a Follow Me because Surging Strikes is now able to be redirected into the Flutter Mane. A Sucker Punch coming out into that spot. It fails, and Ogerpon goes for the Wood Hammer into the Flutter Mane, and Flutter Mane is bounced by the power of the Force.
Can I just say, I love how Ogerpon does like a little backflip every time he does a little hammer.
I know, right? It's so awesome. And we
It's
see a
so
Thunderbolt come out into the Urshifu slot, and Raging Bolt picks up the KO on Urshifu. It is now a 2v2.
It is now a 2v2, and now we're going to see that back Pokemon from Chris. It's a Metagross.
Metagross is the
Metagross,
last
the Pokemon
Pokemon.
I am going to ask Christopher after this if that is the Steven event one, because it says the Pokemon fan. So that's an event Pokemon, so I'd imagine it's the Steven one.
But we do see there's only one turn left of Tailwind. So this Urshifu, while it is Choice Scarf, it's not going to be faster than that Ogerpon. So you'd have to potentially go for something like a close combat or an Ice Spinner into the Raging Bolt here. We do see the Wood Hammer come out.
And that's a one-hit KO, and I wouldn't imagine it otherwise, because that's a big bonk.
It is a very big bonk. We always talk about Ogerpon hitting you with the Ivy Cudgel bonk, but nope. A Heavy Slam come out, and it doesn't do enough to knock out the Raging Bolt. It goes Thunderbolt into Chris's Ogerpon. Ogerpon goes down here, but this Metagross, it does have that priority Bullet Punch still.
That is true. Now listen, I do see a way for Joven to win. Crit high roll, Thunderclap.
And he doesn't
Never
even
mind.
do it. He realizes the battle is over. He concedes, and Christopher Baez with a 2-0 win, proving Metagross' domination once again in VGC.
Using Steven's Metagross of all Pokemon going into this, and you know, Steven Metagross became a champion, and let's see if Christopher can become a champion today.
When it like Steven said, when it just comes down to it, I'm just the strongest there is right now.
I mean, it's all about being strong, right? Like
It is all about being strong. Unfortunately, only Metagross is good in VGC. Aggron, it's got a little bit of a...
Yeah.
It has a small niche, but only in its Mega form, because it negates super effective moves by 25% with that filter and sheds its Rock type, so therefore it is not quad weak to fighting and ground. But what a battle by Christopher Baez there with that Metagross. It was an amazing play. The Flutter Mane coming out, doing some damage with the Moonblast. Getting the special attack drops was huge in game number one.
that was awesome. Honestly, it didn't really affect the gameplay too much, because all the opposing Fluttermanes had to do was Icy Wind each time. So it really didn't really affect it too much, because Icy Wind is going to do too much damage regardless.
You're right there. And then, honestly, game one, we just can't stop talking about it. That Incineroar mirror.
Incineroar mirror, it was insane. Like, oh my gosh.
What a finish by that Incineroar, because I actually wonder, that knockoff got it from 32 to 20 HP. If Christopher's Incineroar stayed paralyzed on that turn, I don't know if Flare Blitz would have done enough to knock it out.
I don't know if it would either, man. It was just... What a game. It's just like...
That was an insane set by both sides.
The insane... Like, just... It was so down to the wire each time. Christopher Baez did come on top both cases, and just props to them in general, man.
Props to both of our
Props to both
trainers.
players. It was phenomenal plays from each trainer.
Although, when we look at Joven's side, I don't recall seeing the Ogerpon in game number one, and I don't recall seeing the Chen Pao.
At all.
So,
Same for both sets.
Yeah, we didn't see... No, we saw...
I'm talking about from
from Joven. Yeah, okay, yes, that makes sense. Because Christopher brought the Flutter Mane, he brought the Metagross, he brought the Urshifu, he brought
he brought every single one of his Pokemon in this two-game set.
I think he did, which is honestly something that you love to see. When you can see the synergy of your entire team helping you to earn that hard-fought 2-0 victory over a very game Joven Teixeira.
Yep. I mean, gosh, congrats to both players. I mean, Joven, you're 1-1. Christopher, you're 2-0. Congrats to you. But Joven still has a chance to make this top cut in today. Both players are doing great in general.
And we're going to take a short break here, ladies and gentlemen, here from the Maitland, Florida April local. We will be back with round number 3 very soon.